What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to be doing a Kylie Jenner inspired makeup tutorial. I love how this look came out. I woke up this morning literally thinking, today I'm going to do a fudgy brown eye with a true brown lip because I haven't used my Kylie liquid lip kit in true brown for a while. The first product that I'm using here is MAC's Brow Gel in Deep Dark Brunette, and I used a number 14 Anastasia eyebrow brush to apply the product with. I love this brush. If you're in the market for a really great eyebrow brush, this is the perfect one. Now I'm going to be using MAC's Brow Gel Set in Clear to tame my unruly hairs. Now I'm using MAC Select Cover Up Concealer in MC20, and I'm going to be applying that concealer under my brows with a 212 brush, and then to blend out that concealer, I will be blending that out with a MAC 286 brush. These two brushes are my favorite brushes to use to do this exact step, and I really love just cleaning up my eyebrows because it helps me cover up any mistakes that I made, like making the eyebrow too thick. And it also makes them look like they were just freshly done. So this is a really good step to do if you want them to look super clean. And what I'm showing you here is how I found is the easiest way for me to make them even. It's kind of like making like a Frida Kahlo unibrow with concealer. And I just line up my two corners. And that's how I know that they'll be even, at least in the middle there. Now I'm going to be using my Best Damn Beauty lip mask. This lip mask is the bomb. I love it because it hydrates my lips and I really feel a difference, and also it's really great to put under liquid lipsticks. And then the eyeshadow primer that I used was the NARS eyeshadow primer base. That is the best eyeshadow primer ever. I'm not even going to say anymore. So after I've contemplated what palette I was going to use, because I feel like I have so many, I ended up picking up my Beauty Killer palette by Jeffree Star, and for my transition shade, I'm going to be using the color Courtney in the palette with a Morphe E22 blending brush. This brush is the bomb for this exact step. Get it? You won't regret it. I have like 2 or 3. Now, just like in my last video, I feel like I'm going to be so repetitive. I'm using an E36 Morphe brush. I'm going to be applying Nylon eyeshadow by MAC on my brow bone. So for the lid color, and I feel like it's the star of the show and that really makes the look, I used the MAC Soft Serve Shadow in Softened Up. And that's just like a really beautiful fudgy brown, and the consistency of these shadows were awesome. They're very smooth and buttery. And I applied that all over my lid with a MAC 239 brush. My favorite brush ever. Next, with a clean MAC 239 brush, I used another soft serve shadow from MAC. This is in the color Bounce Around, and I just used that in the inner corner. It had a different tone to it. Instead of being warm, it was cool. It was kind of like a pewter color, so I really loved the contrast it gave to my eye. And now with the Sigma E25, I believe this brush is, I used Vanity in the palette of the Jeffree Star palette, and I put that on my outer V to create some depth and some darkness there. So right after all that blending, I'm just going to clean up my shadow. So I'm going to be applying some of the same concealer that I used for my brows, and I'm using the same MAC 212 brush. And then I'm just going to blend it out. This is really awesome too if you make any mistakes as well. Instead of going in with a makeup wipe, you just get a really nice clean sharp line. For lashes, I used KoKo Goddess lashes. Now I'm going to be going in with the Faced Hangover RX primer. I used this as a moisturizer. I really do love this primer. This is really nice. It's a nice alternative instead of using a heavy moisturizer to moisten the skin. And then just on my T-zone, I'm going to be using the MAC Skin Refine Zone just to control my oils even further. And then I used the Tarte Clean Slate Poreless Primer. I took a pea-size amount and I just applied all of that around my cheeks, my forehead, and my chin. And then right after that, I'm just going to apply my Fast Response Eye Cream by MAC because it really does a nice job of helping with puffiness that you have under the eyes. Now I'm just curling my lashes. And then we're going to move on to skin. So, I love skin. I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever HD foundation, the first foundation in the color N128. And I'm going to be blending that out with a Sigma F82 brush. And also in the beginning when I applied the foundation, I used a MAC 190 brush. To conceal any of the blemishes that I feel that the foundation didn't really cover up, I'm going to be going in with MAC Studio Finish Concealer in NC42, and I'm going to blend that out with the same F82 brush. After going through my concealers, I felt like I have so many that I don't even use. I decided to go with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Concealer in 1.0. I put that under my eyes, on the bridge of my nose, my forehead, and my chin. And then to blend that out, I'm going to be using the Morphe G2 brush. And this brush is thebomb.com for blending out concealer. Get it? Get it? You'll love it. So just to brighten up the concealer just a little bit more, I went in with my NYX HD concealer in the shade 01. It has a pinkiness to it, so I just wanted to bring a little bit more of that. And then to set my whole under eye and a little bit of my T-zone, I used the Mercier Translucent powder with a Sigma tapered highlighter brush. So while I let that powder kind of just sit under my eye, I went in with my Bobbi Brown foundation stick in the shade Almond number 7. I used that to contour / bronze my face. I put that along my cheekbones, on my forehead, on the bottom of my lip, and on the bottom of my chin as well. In order to blend that out, I used my MAC 159 brush, and I just buffed it all out. Now I ended up kind of going just a little bit messy with the cream contour because it had been a hot minute since I used cream contour. I'm using the LA Girl concealer in the shade Porcelain just to kind of clean up that contour and make it a little bit sharp because Kylie Jenner's contour is usually very strong, so I wanted to mimic that. And then just to set my contour and darken it up just a tiny bit more, I went in with my Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion in the shade 30M just to intensify and set that creaminess because baby girl is oily. I went a little bit crazy with my highlight game today. I tried to use every single highlighter that I can find on my vanity. So what I used here was the Anastasia Glow Kit in the shade Sun Dipped. And then I went in with Anastasia Beverly Hills Illuminator in So Hollywood. And right after that, I used the Becca and Jaclyn Hill collaboration palette, and I mixed Champagne Pop and Prosecco Pop. Using a MAC 137 brush, I applied Shaft of Gold Extra Dimension as my blush because I wanted something that was going to mimic more of like a rosy tan. So I ended up putting that as my blush on my cheekbones, a little bit on my forehead, and on the contours of my nose. And then just to set my makeup and add a little bit more coverage, I went in with my MAC Studio Fix powder in NC42. And I'm applying that with the same foundation brush that I used earlier. Now to super set my under eyes and make that super flawless, I went in with another Studio Fix powder by MAC in NW20. And then just to buff everything out and blend it, make sure we have no harsh lines, I went in with a MAC 187 brush to blend it all out. So right after I had a mini tantrum because my eyeshadow fallout game was super strong during this time, I ended up applying Vanity from the Jeffree Star palette on my outer corners and the Soft Serve Shadow in Bounce Around in my lower inner corner. And then I went in with NARS Bonaparte, I believe is how you say it, nude eyeliner right in the waterline. And then I used MAC's Hot and Naughty mascara in the waterproof formula. I ended up using the Model in a Bottle setting spray in the Sensitive Skin formula. So the star of the show, which I love this color. I think it was so beautiful when I put it on, and I really enjoyed wearing it. I popped out my KYLIE True Brown lip kit. I'm going to be applying the lip liner and the liquid lipstick. Now you know that nobody's a perfectionist, and liquid lipsticks are very difficult to apply and get a really precise and perfect line. So I ended up just cleaning that up with my Studio Finish concealer in the shade NC42 with a MAC 212 brush. Cleaned up those edges, and I buffed it out with a MAC 286 brush. Ooh, girl, you better go fix that hair. Ooh. Yay! So this is the completed look. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos of me. I will be posting probably every Sunday, so stay tuned for that. I really love how this look came out, and that is all I have to say. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and thank you so much for checking out this video. Peace out, son.